or Republic of Costa Rica is a country in Central America, bordered by Nicaragua in north and Panama in south, has coast on the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Its capital and the largest city located in St. George with around 1.5 million people in the surrounding metropolitan area, home to cultural institutions. The official language is Spanish, while English is often spoken as a second language. Of all the Central American countries, Costa Rica is generally regarded as having the most stable and most democratic government. Costa Rica is also known for its strong commitment to the environment and for protecting its numerous national parks. These factors, along with an established ecotourism industry, having attracted foreign investment, which shifted the country's once agriculture-based economy to one dominated by services and technology.
Import and export of Costa Rica. Costa Rica main imports are electrical machinery, industrial machinery, motor vehicles, and cars. Costa Rica main export are medical and technical equipment, fruit and nuts, and electrical components.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Noatika binti Azman. I will present the currency. The official currency of Costa Rica is the colon. Colonies consist of colorful bills that depict some of Costa Rica's most beautiful animals such as sharks, monkeys, sloths, and butterflies. They come in the amounts of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000 colonies. The exchange rates between the dollar USD and the colon is always fluctuating and is currently around 612 colons in the dollar. Exchange rate of Costa Rica to the US dollar. The graph shows that from 2001 to 2021, the exchange rate for CRC per US dollar increased constantly. However, the exchange rate declined once more from 2009 to 2014, then between 2014 and 2015, and 2019 to 2020. We can observe that it started to increase once more.
The factor that affects exchange rate of Costa Rica is inflation. Rica's consumer price jumped by 10.6% year-on-year in 2020, following an 8.71% increase in the previous month. It was the highest inflation rate since 2009. On a monthly basis, consumer prices advanced 1.78%, the fastest since 2008, and following a 1.44% rise in the previous month. Higher international food and fuel prices are partly responsible for these rises, but other contribution factors include the exchange rate, depreciation, and expectation of higher inflation. Next, GDP. The gross domestic product measures of national income and output for a given country's economy. The GDP is equal to the total expenditures for all final goods and services produced within the country in a stipulated period. The slightly negative balance of central government in 2008, following the positive balance of around 0.6% of GDP recorded in 2007, was mainly the result of higher investment in infrastructure and increased social spending to tackle the impact of price rises throughout the year. Despite the reduction in amount of taxation, the current revenues, owing to the slowdown in receipts from taxes on consumers, income and car imports, as a consequence of slower economic growth.
Next, for interest rate, in Costa Rica, interest rate decisions are taken by the Central Bank of Costa Rica. The graph shows that in 2002, the highest value interest rate for Costa Rica is 15.1%. And in 2007, the lowest value interest rate for Costa Rica, which is 2.1%. Next, the factor of exchange rate of Costa Rica is a balance of credit. The relationship between balance of credit and exchange rate will be driven by the supply and demand for the country's currency and all transactions taking place with other countries. Based on the graph show, there are fluctuation of balance of credit in exchange rate for Costa Rica. In 2000, it was the highest value for balance of credit, which is 139.55 million, and in 2021, it was the lowest value for balance of credit, which is negative 668.17 million.
The first analysis is descriptive. As you can see on the table below here, each variable has 21 set of data which present annual data for 21 years. The mean GDP is 4.09 while the standard deviation is 1.827. The average interest rate is 8.97 in 21 years. And in addition, the average of inflation is 6.39 across 21 years. The second one is multiple regression analysis. For the analysis of multiple regression, according to the models R-square summary of 0.998, the term of GDP growth, foreign direct investment, real interest rate and inflation account for approximately 99.5% of the actual rates for Costa Rica. The value adjusted R-square is 0.994. It indicates that 99.4% of the variation exchange rate by liability. The next one is ANOVA. P-value for the F-test was 2.755, which is below the level of significance. This means that the null hypothesis is invalid. Accordingly, the statistically significant variables in explaining the variance in Costa Rica exchange rate include GDP growth, foreign direct investment, real interest rate, and inflation. Coefficient. We can see from the coefficient that foreign direct investment, the real interest rate, and inflation are not significant variables in explaining Costa Rica exchange rate fluctuation. Given that P minus value is greater than the 0.05 level of significance due to the number being less than 0.05, only foreign direct investment has relevance.